one of the most important components in the Android realm, if you will, is the ability for us to draw on screen. Now, this is already happening, whether you knew this or not. When we create our widgets, when we create our applications, we have views, we have things being drawn onto the screen. But we need to understand exactly what is it that it's happening in the background. So that's why we're going to be talking about drawing on screen and how to draw on screen using canvas and views and so forth. But before we go deep into that, we need to understand a few basic things here. So the hierarchy, the class hierarchy that we have when it comes to views in Android is that we have this big class called view, which all of other widgets such as text view, buttons, edit text, and anything else that we can put onto screen actually extends or inherits from that class called view. So naturally, this class view has all of the methods, all of the properties and attributes that allow us to actually draw or add things onto the screen, onto the view. In order for us or the system, the Android system, to be able to draw on screen, it needs obviously the onDraw method. So every view has this onDraw method, which essentially allows us to draw graphics or components onto the screen. So that means if we want to create, for instance, a custom view, we could create a class that would extend the view, which means then that class would inherit properties of the view. And we can also implement certain or override the onDraw, so we can actually draw ourselves whatever we want to put onto the screen. So this onDraw method is always called when we are actually drawing or putting things onto the screen. If we want to customize whatever is being drawn onto the screen, we can then put that code inside of this onDraw method. But you also notice that the onDraw method contains this canvas. In fact, I made a mistake that I said Kava or Kava. There should be canvas. So this Canva object here, what it does, it holds the draw calls. So it knows exactly what needs to be done on screen in order for us to be able to draw. Now, in order for us to be able to draw on screen, we need 4 components here. We need a bitmap. Think of a bitmap as a bucket that would contain all of the pixels that we are actually going to need to start putting together, which will form this view or this item that we're trying to draw. So suppose we want trying to draw a circle on the screen, we need some sort of a bitmap that will hold all those little pixels that would make up a circle. And then the second thing we need is obviously the canvas. The canvas is the class that will hold the draw code. So canvas knows exactly how to draw. So we can use canvas to start drawing things onto screen. So it has all the methods needed to actually draw. Okay. And the third one is the drawing primitive. So we can use, for instance, the rectangle, primitive, circle, or any other type that we want to be able to draw on the screen. And last but not least, we need to have the brush. In this case, it's the paint class. So the paint class knows everything about setting the color, setting the width, setting the shadows, and all those properties that we need in order for us to enhance what we're drawing, right? So if we're drawing a circle, we may say we want to make sure that the circle is painted green or red or blue or any other color. We could also say we want this to be filled with that paint or with that color, or we want also to have some sort of a shadow around that item that we are drawing. In this case, it could be a rectangle or circle or so forth. Okay, so that's the idea behind drawing on screen. And all of this happens, whether you know or not, when we create our screens, our Android screens, this is all happening in the background. But now, since all of that's happening in the background, we can also customize, meaning we can also intervene in the happening, in the drawing of all of these graphics onto screen, in the screen, which allows us to customize our views or our images or whatever else we are trying to draw onto the screen. Okay. So this is what we are going to be looking into. But remember, it all starts with the view class, because that's the mother or parent class in which most, if not all, of the Android components inherit from. All right. Okay. Enough talking. So I just wanted to give you a little introduction here. So now let's move and actually see all of this in action. So let's go ahead and actually create a project where we are going to be able to draw something onto the screen. Oh, very exciting. I'll see you next.